You know that feeling, right? It's like the day before Valentine's, and this very specific kind of panic starts to set in. It's the sudden dread, like you forgot something really, really important. And if you don't pull off some grand gesture, your entire relationship might just poof. But what if that whole panicky feeling is actually a sign that we're looking at love all wrong? Let's get into the psychology of this holiday pressure cooker.
I mean, isn't it kind of weird? How does one single day on the calendar have so much power? Enough power to make people seriously question the foundation of their entire partnership. Why? Why does this one 24-hour period cause so much anxiety, so much pressure, and so many frantic last-minute flower orders?
Well, here's where it gets really interesting. The answer might be the exact opposite of everything we've been told. It turns out, research suggests that the couples with the deepest, most secure bonds, they're often the ones who treat Valentine's Day like it's just another Tuesday. And the psychology behind that? Well, it tells us something fascinating about love itself.
Okay, so to really get this, we have to start with this idea of performing love. It's this feeling that our relationship isn't just for us. It's like it needs to be seen, to be validated by an audience, whether that's your friends, your family, or, your entire social media feed. This brings us to a really cool psychological concept called symbolic self-completion. Okay, so put simply, if you're feeling a little insecure about something, like, am I really a good partner? You tend to overcompensate. You go looking for big, shiny external symbols, like a super expensive gift or a gushing Instagram post, to prove both to yourself and everyone else that you totally are. And that quote just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? It perfectly illustrates the trap. Once you get caught up in this cycle, your focus completely shifts. It's not about the genuine connection between two people anymore. It becomes all about staging a really convincing play for an audience. The performance starts to feel more important than the real thing.
And then you throw another powerful force into the mix, social comparison theory. This is an idea from a psychologist named Leon Festinger way back in 1954. And it's basically this. It's a natural, totally human instinct to look at what other people have to figure out how we're doing. And in the 21st century, that instinct has been put on absolute steroids. Just think about it for a second. On Valentine's Day, you unlock your phone, and what do you see? It's a nonstop, curated feed of other people's most amazing, spectacular moments. So we're sitting here comparing our normal, everyday life, with all its quiet moments and boring Tuesdays, to everyone else's perfectly filtered highlight reel. And as you scroll past the surprise trip to Paris and the diamond earrings, this little voice in the back of your head starts to whisper, is my relationship good enough?
So you've got this pressure to perform and this instinct to compare. But there's a third ingredient that makes Valentine's Day kind of toxic for real connection, that feeling that you're supposed to do it. The trap of supposed to.
Psychologists actually have a name for this: prescribed relationship behaviors. These are the things we do not because we feel a spontaneous rush of affection, but because the calendar tells us it's time. And get this, studies consistently show that when romantic gestures feel like an obligation, they can actually lower your relationship satisfaction. It just sucks the romance right out of the room.
And here's the thing, right? Our brains are smart. On some gut level, both people in the relationship know the difference. The "I have to do this" gesture feels like a transaction, a box you have to check off a list. But that "I want to do this" gesture, that feels like a genuine connection.
And this intense pressure from our culture, it doesn't just put a strain on couples. I mean, for anyone who's single, February 14th can feel like the world is throwing a giant party that you are very, very pointedly not invited to. It creates this massive feeling of being left out. And this isn't just you being in your feelings. It's a real neurological event. Neuroscientists call it social pain, and they found that the feeling of being excluded literally activates the same parts of your brain as physical pain does. But here's the crucial part. That pain isn't really caused by being single. It's manufactured by a cultural expectation that says you're supposed to have a partner on this one specific day. You take that expectation away, and it's just another Thursday.
Okay, so if these big, splashy, obligatory gestures are the problem, what's the solution? Well, it turns out the science points to something much quieter, much more consistent, and at the end of the day, way more powerful.
I love this analogy because it just sums it all up perfectly. Think about it. You can't get physically healthy by doing one epic workout a year, right? And you can't build a healthy relationship with one epic romantic gesture a year. Your relationship muscles, just like your real muscles, they need consistent daily exercise.
This is really the core of what the legendary relationship expert Dr. John Gottman calls relationship maintenance. I mean, this guy has studied couples for decades, and what he found was that the real secret to lasting love, it wasn't in the big, flashy, Instagram-worthy moments. Nope, it was in the thousands of tiny, seemingly insignificant moments that happen every single day.
Gottman calls these little moments bids for connection. And they aren't grand at all. They're the small, everyday acts of turning towards your partner instead of away. It's remembering exactly how they take their coffee. It's putting your phone down, like all the way down, and actually listening when they tell you about their day. It's just noticing their mood is a little off and asking, "Hey, you okay?"
So when you put the two models side by side like this, the difference is just stark. The old way is all about high pressure, high stakes, scheduled performances. But the healthy model, the one that's actually backed by decades of research, it's all low pressure, genuine connection that happens spontaneously and consistently. It's really the difference between having to prove your love once a year and actually living your love every single day. And it's not just about maintaining the relationship, it's also about growing it. Another researcher, Dr. Eli Finkel, has this idea called self-expansion theory, which shows that couples who grow together stay together. The key is sharing new and novel experiences. But the really fascinating part is that the cost of the experience doesn't matter at all. It's the novelty that counts. So trying a new recipe together or just walking a different way through your own neighborhood can do more for your bond than some stuffy, expensive dinner you've done a million times.
So what's the big takeaway from all this? How do we actually take this psychology and use it in our own life? Well, it's really all about fundamentally reframing how we look at the calendar and where we choose to put our energy.
For instance, research from Dr. Sarah Algo on the gratitude effect shows that one of the most powerful tools we have is just simple, spontaneous appreciation. Not because a holiday told you to, but just because. Saying thank you for something small or just pointing out something you admire about your partner on a random Tuesday afternoon. That simple act strengthens the bond for both of you.
Because that's what it all comes down to, isn't it? Real devotion isn't about a dinner reservation or a gift receipt. It's about being there when you're exhausted after a long day. It's showing up when it's inconvenient. It's the love that exists when there are no cameras, no audience, and no social media posts to prove it's real.
And look, let's be clear. The point of all of this is not to become some Valentine's Day cynic who hates flowers and chocolate. If you and your partner love celebrating it, that's amazing. Keep doing it. The real goal is just to shift the dynamic, to move it from the obligatory column in your mind over to the optional one, freeing it from all that pressure and all that expectation. And that really leaves us with one final question to think about. A relationship that only feels special when the calendar tells it to, well, it probably isn't all that special. The real magic, the real strength is found in all those other unremarkable days in between.